If you could only believe in what you ask for, as powerfully as does a mustard seed know its own identity, you would be able to do anything you wanted to do. If you could carry within your mind a seed, the perfected plan of your most heartfelt goals, and know that beyond all doubt that it can grow and come into perfect fruition, you would see this wonderful seed take on a life of its own, which would presently manifest in your life. And you could surely move the mountains in your lives. Those mountains that stand across your path and prevent you from achieving all that you would like. Mountains which in times of recklessness and evil thinking have been created by yourselves. If only you understood creation and its existence, you would be able to live lives of total freedom, limitless achievement, and transcendent joy. Seek to understand, and you will find that little by little, understanding will come to you. Knock on the door of the universe, giving access to God, the universal Father consciousness, and eventually you will find the door swinging open, and you will have entrance into the secrets of the world. Only believe, and you will receive. Only those with pure minds and hearts will accomplish these mighty things. And let no one dare to deny the truth that I speak to you until they have walked the path of self-reunification, which I walked on earth, and reached the same union with the Father in the heights of incontrovertible knowledge and understanding as I possessed. When you have achieved all this, you will no longer have any desire to deny the truth I speak to you, but you will be unable to restrain yourself from joining me in teaching your fellow men. Until that time, hold your peace and let no man know your ignorance. This is from the Christ Letters. This is the Real Healing Institute. My name is Michelle Sinclair, and I can tell you that I have walked that path and have experienced exactly what he's talking about, which is why I'm here teaching you, because it's true. When you get to that point, you're like, I got to tell the people. The people got to know there's a better way. They can change their entire life and their existence, and the reason that they have suffered is because of their own thinking, their own mind, karma from the past. It goes so much deeper than this, but everything that happens in your life, every single wonderful thing, can truly be a beautiful and wonderful thing, and can be exactly as you would like it to be if you would only but believe in it. But here's the deal, right? We say that we want these things. We're like, oh, I'm gonna, plant this seed of this or that seed of that and watch it come to fruition. And if we have an attitude like that, yeah, it's totally gonna come. But when we plant these seeds and then we're like, well, it's not here yet. Well, but I don't know. Well, what if it's not gonna happen? Well, what if I need this backup plan because this other thing? And we put doubt into it, which is what I just expressed right there. Then we actually don't have faith. Then we actually don't have the faith. We have the doubt. And when we have the doubt, then our results are going to be filled with doubt, and will be filled with the seeds of whatever that doubt planted, rather than whatever the beautiful faith that we could have had could have planted. Because when we believe in the doubt, we are actually having faith in the doubt. We are putting our faith in the doubt. Why would we do this? Well, we do this because we're humans, man. And until you've experienced that love, I have experienced that love, which is why I know without a shadow of a doubt that literally anything is possible. Any healing is possible. There's nothing that is not possible. Nothing. I've seen it play out in my life. All of it is possible. But when you have the doubt, what has happened is, well, it's there for a reason. I work with clients all the time for things like doubt. And why do we have it? Well, I'll have them follow the feeling of doubt. So just think about that feeling of doubt. When you doubt yourself, you physically can feel it in your body, right? You can. Bring it up, feel it, physically feel it. So I have them follow this sensation back when they're in state to where it very first began. So you can do this for yourself. Put yourself in a meditative state. Take yourself back. Where did it come from? Sometimes it comes from the womb. Sometimes it comes from young childhood. Sometimes it will come from a past life. Sometimes it will come from beyond that. But your mind, your subconscious mind, will take you to this place, and then you can heal it because it began somewhere. So today, this was wonderful. I had a client, and this is just the coolest thing ever. So I thought I'd better tell you. So we took back a feeling. I don't even remember what the feeling was. Oh, it was like a what if I'm not enough? You know, something along those lines. And so like, okay, let's follow this feeling back. Well, what happens? We go back all the way to the angelic realm where this client is an angel, and they're wondering, like, you know, well, I don't know exactly how to do this job. Like, what if I don't do it well enough? And so there was fear that was there. And I was like, yeah, but look at the fear, man. Even the fear is based out of love. Like, what if I love so much? What if I can't love good enough? That was where the fear was coming from, was even out of love. And so all it took was recognizing this, and then their present day issue with that same feeling gone, eradicated. So all of these things that we have, they're here on purpose. They're here for a reason. But when we put our faith in these things, and we believe like, this is who I am, and I've had so many clients, so many, so this is so common. And I'm not going to say everyone experiences it, but dang, a lot of people experience this, of feeling like, well, this is just the way that I am. I've always been this way. Maybe anxious, maybe a little depressed, maybe whatever it is. It's like, that ain't you, man. I'm telling you right now, that's not who you are. You may have experienced this your whole life. It maybe even started in the womb, but it's not who you are. And so we'll follow it back. Maybe it did start in the womb. Maybe the mother had an issue going on, and it's not that they didn't want you as that particular person, as that baby. No, they couldn't handle life themselves. And so then this goes to the little baby, because, right, you're energetically connected to the mom and to your mom, and she's sending whatever she's sending, not intentionally, not to harm you, maybe, though, you never know. But sending something, but it's all coming from her. It's about her. It has nothing to do with you, even though you're the one who's affected by it and all the things. And so then you carry it forward and you take it in your life and you think, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not this or that. And it plays out in every single area of your life. You can see it in your living conditions. You can see it in your relationships. You can see it in absolutely every avenue of your life. And this all came from a belief of, this is who I am, but it's not who you are. That's what your ego will tell you that you are. But you, without that, at a soul level, no, man, you're perfect. You're wonderful. And so this life was meant to be challenging, you know, so that we could gain and learn things, because evolution, there needs to be this, right? You know, we let's say that, you know, the fish didn't run out of the food and the water, and so they didn't need to learn how to walk or do the things and get legs. You know, there's a challenge that comes that leads to evolution. And so in your life, you can look at this, man, if you've had a super challenging life, you got something pretty spectacular that you're supposed to accomplish here on earth, that you're supposed to do. Like, this is part of the package. Because by overcoming that, maybe you need to teach people. Maybe you've developed some extraordinary spiritual gifts. Maybe you're just starting to develop them now. Maybe, I don't know the thing, because there's billions of people, but whatever it is that you've gone through, it has served a purpose. It's currently serving a purpose, and you have been put through these things for a purpose. However, once we get through these challenges, these learnings, these things that we've done from karmic ties, from previous lives, you know, we agreed to this. We wanted this. We chose our parents. We're like, okay, you're going to hurt me? Perfect. Okay, so then I'm going to have to forgive you? Okay, right, and it's going to be like super tough to do? Okay, cool. That sounds like a good challenge. I'm up for that. And then we come here and we're like, what? We made that plan? That sounds like a terrible plan. I don't want to do that. I can't forgive this person. I don't want to do that. Blah, blah. And we forget about all the things that we came here to do. And so it's about remembering, this is why we came here. We came here to do this work. And we came here because it serves a purpose, because it's about spiritual evolution. And so we need to do these things, because as we do these things, we're not just doing it for ourselves, we're doing it for the entire planet. We're doing it for all. You'll notice, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've noticed, I'll go on vacation and going to certain places, there's certain places that they got a tricky vibe, man. Like, I'm like, I don't want to come back here. I have been to places I haven't even been out of the airport parking lot. And I'm like, I already want to leave because I can feel the collective consciousness vibration that is in that particular place. And it's heavy, it's dense, it's full of not what I want, and it's hard to handle. And this is what I'm talking about. So we need to have a spiritual evolution here on the planet so that these places don't exist, because when you live in these places, not exist as they currently do. Because when you live in these places, you don't know it. You don't know that that's the vibe. You're just in it and you're living your life and you think that it's normal until you leave and you go somewhere else and you're like, oh wow, I felt so amazing on vacation. Half the time it's not just because you're taking a break, it's because you've changed environments and you're no longer in that collective energy that you were in before. I've noticed this when I've gone on trips. It feels good in this place I don't want to go back to, this place feels a certain way, and I would say no, it's not my preconceived notions about these places, because I was super pumped to go. I showed up on a tropical paradise island and I was not even out of the parking lot before I was like, oh man, I could go home. And it was the most beautiful place you've ever seen. People were friendly. But it was the level of consciousness that was hard to endure for the duration of when I was there. Like, it was intense. And so if you live in a place like this, to be separate from it is almost impossible, because you're really in it. And so at some point it kind of overtakes you, the collective energies that are there. And so it's very hard to, be that sovereign being that you are, because the collective takes over. So this is why it is so important for us to spiritually evolve and to hold the light where we're at, and to spread the light where we're at, so that that can be the new level of consciousness that is in these cities, these countries, these places, so that we can evolve. Because what we are creating here is heaven on earth. And it is our every loving thought that is a transforming influence on this earth. It's our every loving thought. Think of this. You walk into a room and you're like, whoa, what's going on here? And the vibe's off. Maybe the room feels really heavy, feels really dense. People were maybe just talking like that. Something is off. This is what I'm talking about. Of the collective energies, you can feel it. And so when we can change the collective energies into ones of love, of pure love, Christ consciousness, where we're not judging anybody, we're not criticizing anybody, we're not angry about anything. We're so deeply understanding about the laws in the universe and how things actually work, that all we have is compassion and love towards people. What does it feel like when you go to a place like that? Well, it feels like heaven, and it is. Me living here in Sedona, when I very first came here, I was like, oh man, like, this is one of the most beautiful places on earth. It looks like heaven. It truly does. But what I noticed was then, I would come here and visit and leave, and come here and visit and leave. And then every time that I would leave, and my plane is just like going down wherever I'm going, I'm like, oh man, like, I can feel the heaviness, the denseness of the energies. And some people are really sensitive to these things and some people are not. Or some people are just more aware of these things and some people are not. But it was almost too much to take. And so then the last time that I had come here just on vacation, to work and hang out, it was like, okay, I'm going to move here. And within 4 days, I went and I grabbed my thing, got in my vehicle, and came back, because it felt like a sense of urgency to leave where it was that I was at, because it was so heavy and so dense that I couldn't hold my spiritual frequency that I needed to hold. Now, it does matter what environment, what household you're in, what people you're around, which is why it's very easy. I go up to the cabin, I'm up there by myself. Of course, I'm holding the light. Call me, healed, done, bam, do all the things, easy peasy, because you're not in anybody else's energies. But as soon as that is introduced into your environment, which is why it is such an important thing, and it matters more than you could possibly ever know, who you spend your time with, who you hang out with, who you talk to, what content you consume, all of those things matter more than you could possibly ever even know. Because you are going through the process of mentally cleansing yourself, you need that support. You need it. You need to have other people that are understanding and that are encouraging you along your path and that want to see you get better, because, you know, some people, if they don't want to do the work, they don't necessarily want the people around them doing the work either, right? Because they intuitively know, hey man, if you level up, you're probably going to leave me, and they're right. Because you know, if you were an alcoholic at some point, well, can you hang out with the alcoholics, you know, after you've decided that you're not going to do that anymore? You can't. You can't do it anymore, because you will get sucked back into that old way of being. So if you've decided, you know, I'm not going to, you know, criticize and judge and gossip anymore, but all the people that you hang out with criticize and gossip and judge, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be nearly impossible to achieve what it is that you want to achieve while you're still hanging out with that, because you will get sucked and dragged back into it. Sometimes you just actually have to change the environment that you're at so that you can do what it is that you need to do and be who it is that you need to be and claim all the power that you have and that is your right back to you. And as you do that, things are going to change for you. And so let's say that you've held on to something inside of you, and you know, and you're like, this is just me, man, and it's something that's negative. I'm telling you right now, 100%, no, it's not you. It doesn't need to continue to be you. It's something that needs to be healed. So one time in Circle, which I'll have a link for that below if you want to join our circles, you can totally do that. But we had Ophanim show up in our circle, which is like the angel with all the eyes, you know, with the wings and the thing. And I was like, dude, what is this? And but it's telling me, well, I'm the angel of perspective. Which eye do you need to look through so that you can look at this in a divine, loving way? Because sometimes we will look at situations, circumstances, beliefs, things in our life, and we will think that this is not good. And it's like, well, if you believe that, you're not looking through the proper eye. You're not looking at it through the eye of love. And as soon as you do that, then your perspective will shift, and you're going to shift yourself from living in hell to living in heaven. And this is what we want. So, guys, we are headed off to Mount Shasta here. We got a retreat over the next several days, so I am not sure how much content I'm going to get out. I just keep feeling like I need to mention that in case I'm missing several days here. This is the reason why we're heading out on the road tomorrow. So anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for tuning in here today. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.